And we will start with that breaking news here in the UK and the investigation into lockdown-breaking parties in Downing Street and around Whitehall has concluded. Police have in total made 126 referrals for fines relating to the so-called Partygate scandal. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is not among those receiving a fine in the latest batch. Boris Johnson, his wife Carrie and Chancellor Rishi Sunak had been issued with one fixed penalty each over a birthday gathering in Downing Street. And we can go to our correspondent Laura Makin-Isherwood, who's joining us live now from London. Laura, what are police telling us, first of all, as that investigation wraps up?
Well, they have confirmed that that investigation called Operation Hillman has now closed. They've said that 126 people in total have been fined, 53 men, 73 women, for breaching COVID-19 guidelines across various points where lockdown restrictions were in place. They looked at 8 key dates ranging from May 2020 to April 2021. And the Met Police say that 28 people have been issued with fines or 2 or more fines, in this period. So 28 people have been given 2 or more fixed penalty notices. They've said that they had 12 detectives on the case. They were spending a lot of time looking at questionnaires that were handed in by people suspected of perhaps breaking lockdown rules, examining the details that were given there, looking at CCTV images, door logs, emails, really being thorough in trying to ensure that they were getting to the crux of the issue here, trying to find if people had indeed broken those lockdown rules. And they say that they believe that this was necessary because while they wouldn't normally look at historical allegations of this nature, they believed that there was evidence to suggest that those that had been accused of breaking those rules should have known better, should have known essentially that they were breaking those. So now they've said they have issued all of those fines and that investigation now has been closed.
OK, and what about Boris Johnson? Because, of course, there was a lot of speculation that he was going to personally receive multiple fines over events at Downing Street over that period of lockdowns, and just one, it appears now. So any reaction from Downing Street?
Well, the Prime Minister's spokesperson has said that the Prime Minister will not be receiving any further fines. Police confirming that as well, it seems. As you said, the Prime Minister had been issued one fixed penalty notice before. His wife, Carrie Johnson, also had been the recipient of one fixed penalty notice there related to events that had taken place in Downing Street. But now it seems, according to the Prime Minister's spokesperson, that investigation has been closed with him. They're not expecting any further action from police with regards to both the Prime Minister, also, we believe, Carrie Johnson, the PM's wife, and also Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, as well. So it seems like the government is now confident that that is it in terms of the matter when it comes to those in the top of government. And the police are also saying that they're not going to release the identities of those other people who received those fines. So it seems like it will be up to them to effectively reveal whether they were recipients. But for the Prime Minister, for number 10, it appears that the matter is also closed there.
But not entirely closed, is it? What happens next?
Well, we've also got to hear, of course, from Sue Gray. She's a senior civil servant who was tasked with carrying out an investigation of her own, if you like, writing a report into the events that had taken place inside Downing Street and other buildings in government across lockdown restrictions and those dates. She was basically stopped from publishing that report in full previously because of this ongoing investigation. Now we understand that that full report could be released, could be published within a week or so, so pretty soon. Then that will be made visible to the public, to other people to read, to get more details indeed on what has taken place in Westminster across those periods when many members of the public were kept apart from their loved ones, told to stay at home, stay away from having large large gatherings themselves. We understand when that is published, the Prime Minister will update Parliament, so appear in front of MPs, and will be asked, I suppose, to speak a bit more about what went on across that time, to give more detail. So it's likely he could come under a lot of fire then, when people are able to read the extent of actions that took place inside government. And as the Met Police have released these rafts of fines across a number of dates, there could be a lot more questions from opposition MPs.
Yeah, and where does the opposition stand on this? Because, of course, Labour's been calling for the Prime Minister to resign since the investigation began into allegations of parties in and around Downing Street. But, of course, Labour's Keir Starmer is still facing his own probe.
Yeah, absolutely. There was fury from opposition members of the government when it did emerge that these parties might have taken place inside Downing Street. Further anger as well levelled at the Prime Minister when he received that first fixed penalty notice, calls for him to resign. The Prime Minister saying the investigation was ongoing, it was a matter for police, but also saying that it was kind of dealt with, that he wasn't going to resign. Today, Labour's Deputy Leader, Angela Rayner, has said industrial scale rule breaking has taken place at the heart of Boris Johnson's Downing Street. We must now urgently see the Sue Gray report, she says, published in full. It's time for the Prime Minister to stop hiding, she says. But as you mentioned, Labour's leader, Sir Keir Starmer, is also under investigation himself over allegations that he broke lockdown restrictions on a visit to Durham in the northeast of England. Claims there that he had a takeaway curry and beer with members of his staff that was in breach of those COVID restrictions. An investigation is underway. Labour, though, saying that they are adamant they have enough evidence to prove that it was a work event, not a social one. And Sir Keir Starmer has made public his intention to step down as leader of the Labour Party if he is found to have breached those COVID-19 guidelines. So he has made it very clear that if he is issued with a fixed penalty notice, he will stand aside. If he is found not to have breached those allegations, then it will give him, in effect, a little more ammunition to level at the Prime Minister, extra pressure to place on him. But it seems, for now at least, that the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, wants to stand firm and remain in number 10. And this investigation is closed, and he will want this matter to be brushed over and left behind quite swiftly, I imagine.
Laura, thank you.